So, hi everyone. Today's webinar is on smart home technology and home automation. So, first of all, what is smart home technology? So, it's a general term. It's basically used to describe any device in your home that has communication technology so that you can control it remotely or using something like an AI assistant. So another term is the Internet of Things, which all home devices like that are smart are part of this when they're connected to a network. It's described as a set of physical elements, a group of objects with sensors. They can process stuff. They have some software and some other technologies, and that they can connect with each other and exchange data using the internet or some other forms of communication. So what kinds of things can be part of the Internet of Things? So you can have things like home entertainment and security systems, like security cameras, appliances like your fridge, your lights, even garage door openers, as well as environmental things like, say, your air conditioning or your heating. So some advantages of smart home automation are that you can increase the security of your house. It's much easier to manage all your home devices from one place, like an app on your phone. You can also control a lot of things remotely. So say you've gone to bed and you realize you've left a light on downstairs. You don't have to walk all the way downstairs. You can just open an app on your phone and turn it off like that. You can also be a bit more flexible with some appliances, like you're able to dim the lights without turning them off. You can also buy some more energy efficient products like lights or say your air conditioning, and you can set them on a timer. So after a while, they automatically turn off. That helps reduce your electricity bill and it's good for the planet. And a lot of these new appliances can often work better than some more traditional appliances. So some insights into home management. You can also monitor your, say, energy consumption habits over time. And if you're trying to consume less energy, then you can see what bits of energy, what times you might not need to have certain appliances running. And then you can put that into the apps, say, and have the system do that for you. And that can help you live, say, a more sustainable lifestyle. So we can also think about how it's going to improve in the coming years. There are a lot of innovations in this kind of technology, especially in the past few years. So this little infographic on the right, it is quite small. So I'll read out some of the stuff for you. So they have things like smart showers that use less water, so that say your water bill goes down. They're also developing things like robotic kitchen arms and rollable televisions. Those aren't available right now, but hope maybe in the future, those kind of things will exist. So there are a few different technologies used in smart homes. So some of these terms might be confusing to you, but I am going to go into them a little bit later. So some home systems still use something called X10 or Insteon, but nowadays Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are more common, and some protocols, that's like the set of instructions that are used to run, say, the lights in a smart home, use things called Zigbee and Z-Wave. So these both use radio waves similar to Wi-Fi to communicate to the devices what they should be doing. So a home automation system usually connects to a central hub. You can think of it like the brain of the entire system. So it tells the lights to turn on or off. It tells the house to, say, heat up or cool down. So often different appliances can use different apps. So it can be confusing to keep track of. But if you can get, say, lots of different products from the same company, then you won't need to have lots of different apps. So that can be easier, but it's more of a luxury than a necessity. So these are some of the terms I was talking about earlier. So X10, it's been around since the mid 1970s, and it uses existing electrical wiring to send signals to devices like the lights, and it can also use motion detection. Now, Insteon is it's more like Bluetooth, where you push a button and it's wireless. And a lot of things still do use Insteon, like like security cameras, light dimmers, and thermostats. But nowadays, things usually use Wi-Fi, but you should be conscious of the fact that if your devices do use Wi-Fi, that can put strain on your regular Wi-Fi connection as well. So if you have too many different things trying to run on that Wi-Fi signal, your computer might run slower, say, because the Wi-Fi is having trouble running all of that. Now, Bluetooth is also pretty common, and it doesn't interfere with your Wi-Fi signal, but it can have a shorter range than Wi-Fi, especially because Wi-Fi usually extends across your whole house, while Bluetooth might only work within a shorter range, but it does have the advantages of not messing up your regular computer usage. So some protocols that are used, these are just a list of instructions that the different devices use. So one is Z-Wave. It's the most commonly used. It uses wireless frequencies, but it doesn't interfere with Wi-Fi signals because of the way it works. It's a different frequency that's lower, so it won't mess up your Wi-Fi experience. Another one is called Zigbee. It doesn't offer the extended range that Z-Wave uses, but it is faster, and it operates at a higher frequency than your regular Wi-Fi instead of lower. So how can you use these technologies in your home? So one way is to buy a lot of different things like sensors and smart bulbs, and then they can communicate with each other and they can work a bit more efficiently. And a lot of these technologies can be expensive sometimes, but there are some cheaper alternatives. And it's not like you have to make everything in your home smart, just some things. So a few steps to take is to make sure that your home products are compatible with each other, so that if you're trying to turn on the lights, you won't also accidentally turn on the heating. You can also try to identify things that don't need lots of different hubs. So you can just use one app, say, and it does help to have a very good Wi-Fi signal, especially for the technologies that do use Wi-Fi. One that extends all over your home is best. So some ways to build a hub-free smart home system. Lighting is fairly common. You can, say, adjust the lights without having to go into a room. Some brands that are common are Cree, LIFX, and TP-Link, and those use Wi-Fi. And some newer things like the Philips Hue bulbs use Bluetooth, and you can control them from your phone. You can also change the ceiling lights. This might be a bit trickier, but you can also buy smart switches instead, and then you can adjust the lighting remotely as well without having to take out your old light bulbs and replace them with new ones. You can also buy smart lamps and smart plugs. So smart plugs have the advantage of you don't have to, say, replace lights. You just unplug one device, plug the smart plug into an outlet, and then plug the device back into that smart plug, and then you can control that remotely from, say, your phone. You can also control a lot of things from smart speakers. So the Amazon Echo and Google Home series are supported on a lot of different devices, and especially things like Nest, which is a thermostat, you can control remotely. And you can also, some things like Lenovo, has a smart display series. So basically what you can do is you can go to your smart speaker or your smart speaker's app, and there are options to set up different remote devices, and you can give each one a specific command. Usually it's relative to the room, so you can ask, say, your Google Home to turn on the lights in your kitchen or your living room, just with one voice command. Now, Apple does also have their own home device. It's called HomeKit, and it's powered by Siri, but not as many devices are compatible with this as Google Home and Amazon Alexa. Now you can also look into home security cameras. So indoor models, they can help keep an eye on what's happening inside, and outdoors are obviously outside. And you can use this to see not just if someone's trying to break into your home, but say someone's left a package for you and you didn't see that they dropped it off, you could realize that and go to the front door and grab it. So some lights that are often used are Ring, Arlo, Neratomo, and Maximus, and they also incorporate cameras, and some doorbells also have cameras. And so visitors can talk into that, and then you can answer from your smart home device. There are also smart thermostats. Now, a lot of these do have technology that figures out when to heat and cool down your home automatically to help conserve energy. If, say, it's cold outside and the thermostat isn't heating your home up, you can control that from your phone, or you can also go directly to something like the picture on the right and adjust the temperature. So Nest and Ecobee offer these, and Ecobee also the temperature in multiple rooms, and often they heat up one room without heating up the others. Some locks and doorbells are also offered. This offers you a way to say if you've left the house and you realize you've forgotten to lock the door, you can lock it remotely without having to go all the way back. And many of the locks also have keypads, so you can use a key, but you can also punch in a code, and that unlocks the door. Smart doorbells often include cameras and microphones, so you can see who's at the door and even talk to them. So things like Ring and Nest often offer a lot of these, and you can also save your recordings in the cloud if you want to see them later. So some disadvantages that do come with smart home technology are that you do need a reliable internet connection often. So if your internet connection isn't that good or it's being strained by trying to have all the devices running, you might have some problems. And some people can lock themselves out of their own home, although it's really, really rare. And often you can just unlock it with your phone or using a key if all else fails. But thank you for listening. That's been the webinar on smart home technology.